Hey everyone, welcome to another radio related video. This one is a little bit like a Christmas, not just Christmas, but you know, a little idea of what to buy and what to look for when you want to purchase shortwave radio. And the reason I was thinking of this video is that a friend of mine that knows that I'm a big shortwave radio fan, asked me the question, how do I choose shortwave radio? Well, basically, the different categories of radio, if it's a portable radio, well, you'll have choices between analog radios that still have the little dial with the numbers, and you gotta tune. And this is a totally analog radio, and you have this little needle that when you tune around, the needle moves. You've got, this is the basic shortwave radio, AM, FM shortwave radio. Then you'll have the slightly better tuning type radios that are the little portables with a digital display, but yet still in the low grade. And it doesn't mean because there's a display of the frequency that it's necessarily a digital radio. And an example of that is the Eton here, or Grundig S350DL. Even though it has a frequency display, it is an analog tuned radio at the base. It is not a digital radio. So you gotta you have all these little awkward things. I'll put the radios more into a price tag, I would say. Like everything, money does mean something, and on shortwave radios, yeah, money does really bring you lots of nice features. But keep in mind, it doesn't mean because you paid $100 that you got a great radio. Some radios are bad naturally. Keep in mind that if you're looking for that little gift for Christmas that's not expensive and that might amaze, you can buy a little analog radio. Most of the ones that I tried are not too bad. This Texan is an amazing one, the R9012. This is a great example of a very cheap radio that's amazing. Usually sub $20, sub $25, below $25. You'll have analog radios. Keep in mind that they all vary in quality. Some of them are good, like this Texan. Some of them are extremely bad. I've had lots of below $25 analog radios that are almost worthless. I would not recommend a below $25 radio in general, because most of them aren't really good at what they should do. And basically they'll be good only at listening to AM, FM stations. The best bet would be a radio with a digital frequency display. They tend to be better than the little analog ones. They are more expensive, into the $40–50 range. From, I would say, $30 to $50 range. You'll have one of those little digital radios. Some are $50–60. They tend to actually be better. An example of a good one is this Texan PL450, which is a digital PLL radio. It does not have what is we call single sideband, but this radio is amazing for the price. It's about $60, but this is one of the really good portable shortwave radios. Then you'll have a little higher end, which are more in this range of, for example, the Texan PL600 here. Also in the range of the Degen DE1103, or maybe some of the Grundig G5, for example, this Grundig G5. These are more in the $100 range. They tend to all perform quite well, and they have an added bonus of having the single sideband mode, which lets you listen to the amateur radio bands and some utility type signals, which is pretty good. So you've got your choice. I would say that below 30 bucks is usually not worth it most of the time. And the 30 to 60 bucks, you'll start getting interesting radios. More, I would say towards the $50 range, where you'll get probably a better radio. And then you'll have the $100 to $200 range with those portables that actually are much better most of the time. I've not seen a $100 or more radio that is actually no good. Some of them tend to do better than others, but there's no bad radio, I believe, in the upper more than a $100 range. And well, then if you want to really get something better, then you can go into the desktop type radios, like the ICOM ICR75, for example, which is a $500-600 radio, but that performs really well. Or into the higher end of radios with ICOMs and AOR and all these companies that make the shortwave tabletop models that are basically $1,000 or more. They all perform quite well in general, but they are very expensive, and they are more for this, I would believe, a real radio buff guy, a bit like me. So the basic idea is think of what the person wants. If she tells you or he tells you, I want something to listen to the world, something portable, generally I would say buy a $100 or more radio if you have the money for it. It will pretty much give you a good radio. Another thing also that's interesting is the fact that the well-known brands like Grundig or Ethon tend to have better radios, and I would say, except for a few exceptions that I've seen, most of the Ethon Grundig models are good. Most of the Texon models with digital display are good. This will be bought more on the internet. Most of the Degen digital type radios are good also. So these are brands that you can actually buy. If you're not buying on the internet, Grundig is the leader, I would say, and maybe you'll have a few models from Sony, but you'll have to search more. In Christmas 2012 season that we are now, I would say that finding a store that has a shortwave radio is getting it's really something difficult to find. I really find that it's getting more difficult. So your best bet would be on the internet, either through a very good source, like if you're afraid of buying on eBay, for example. Hey, go to there's a Radio World here in Canada. There's Universal Radio in the United States. What else? Grove Enterprise is another great place where you get those shortwave radios, and usually these specialized radio sources tend to keep the good models. So if you look at these places, you usually will have good radio receivers. So hope this little video helped in choosing the radios. Keep in mind that if you want to listen to the maximum of things on the shortwave bands, a model with single sideband feature is nice because it will let you listen to even amateur radio operators and utility signals. So good luck in choosing your receiver, and hey, if you have a question or you're thinking of a receiver and want to know what I think about it, hey, don't hesitate and you know, leave that little comment, and I'll give you my honest opinion of what I think. And before buying, one of the greatest things you can do is take note of the model that you're about to buy. Just Google it. Google, example, here this is the Degen DE1103. Well, go on the internet and type Degen DE1103 review, and you'll have hundreds and hundreds of people talking about their radios and this model, and they're going to tell you if they like it or not. Usually one or two bad reviews in hundreds is not too bad, but if half of the reviews or more are bad, the radio probably has a serious problem. You should keep away. So thanks for watching, and happy holidays. It is almost a week and a half to Christmas now, so happy shopping if you're shopping around for a radio. 73.